This video is a perfect demonstration of how important the numbers are to them. There's many people that come into my channel and say, oh, I agree with you in a lot of things you say, but these numbers you mention are ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Yes, exactly. You don't get it. You don't understand it. That this is how they operate. They operate through the number system. I'm going to play this video. It's going to be crystal clear for all to see. Again, they're all about the numbers. Take a look.
About to break a big record tonight. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
They call it the Peggy factor, Mission Control's code word for the way superstar astronaut Peggy Whitson always gets the job done.
I love it up here.
Tonight, Commander Whitson making history with her record for any American. By the time she lands in September, her tally will be 666 days in space.
Before she arrives back to Earth, 666 days. You think that's just a coincidence? Of course, it's planned. These are occultists. NASA is nothing more than an occultic organization run by the satanic government. That simple.
With more spacewalks, currently 8, than any other female astronaut. She says what matters is the mission.
I'm not here because of the record, but
I'll stop right here. The so-called Peggy Whitson, the astronaut, and basically like another transgender crisis actor, like I mentioned before. These people have never been in space. They're just actors, nothing more than deceivers. And one thing I want to get into is the number game, like I mentioned so many times. While the masses see these so-called names, these so-called elite see the numbers behind the names, with Peggy being a 33 name, and Whitson being a 36, which is 3 6s. And like I mentioned before, with astronaut, which is also a play on names, with astronaut never being in space, with astronaut being 33 as well. Now let's continue on again at this point with the video. I'll back up a little bit more.
But I think having the record is important because we have to continue to progress. We have to continue to take the next steps.
Whitson is perhaps a surprising interstellar star. At 9, growing up
Very manly.
on a farm in
Extremely
Iowa,
manly.
she watched the moon landing and her dream was born.
So at the time, young girls weren't supposed to do those kinds of things.
She persevered, earning a PhD in biochem and landing a job with NASA.
Definitely. Very manly in these photos.
Then, overcoming the long odds, it was 10 years before
Right here. And this is exactly what the elite love. It's basically blurred lines. You don't know if this is a man or a woman.
NASA decided she had the right stuff to become an astronaut. Her favorite thing about being in space? Simply seeing the Earth, from North Africa's reds
So fake, so phony.
to the Caribbean blues, from
This is all CGI. Okay, this is the purpose of course, all the so-called space missions and ISS. I mean, nothing about this is real. But you can tell people that are in love with the whole idea of outer space. Because, again, I said it so many times, the fantasy is better than the reality. And this is all science fiction. That's all it is.
so far away.
We need to do more to be one Earth, one people.
Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
That's enough of that. Now I want to get into, again, the numbers game. Like I mentioned before, first name being a 33, the 3 6s, and astronaut being 33. Now, I found this very interesting with Bart Sibrel's Astronauts Gone Wild in this interview with Apollo 12, supposed Apollo 12 astronaut Alan Bean. Take a listen to what he says here. Again, they speak in code. Take a listen.
The air conditioning. What powered the air batteries? You had a number of big batteries in the lunar module. They powered pumps. They powered the air conditioning. They powered the communication system. And that's the reason we were only able to stay on the moon 33 hours.
Stay on the moon for only 33 hours. Of course, they've never been to the moon, never been in space. And it's just coded with their number 33. Just like when Edgar Mitchell supposedly passed away in this article. I covered this a while back, where they supposedly had the record of 3 men being on the moon for a record of 33 hours on the moon surface. Obvious for those that are awake. And again, for those that, turn a blind eye to the numbers game, you don't understand how these people operate. This is their language. Until you understand that, you're not fully awake. You're only partially awake. Just like I pointed out a long time ago, this goes back to October 16, 2015. I've been making flat earth videos since around, I would say, April, May of 2015. This one, again, particular video is October 16, 2015. And according to science, which is nothing more than deception, of course, science and science fiction are one and the same, like I mentioned before, with the Earth supposedly 23.4 degrees on its axis. And that leaves you, of course, the occultic number, again, 66.6 degrees off, being horizontal. So, again, these numbers are always going to be there. Just like I shown before as well, Earth is supposedly orbiting around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. All these fabricated numbers, all based around the occult. Not just the so-called ball Earth. When you look at, not just NASA as well. You look at the European agency, the so-called nuclear research, CERN, and you see the 666 hidden in the logo. Just like, as I show many times as well, with Google Chrome, and you see the 3 6s and the flat Earth model. You see the ice ring and the oceans in the center. There's no land, but this is definitely, basically represents 666 around the world. And just another look here as well when it comes to the UN logo, which of course is basically the flat Earth model. And of course, as I mentioned as well, there just so happens to be 33 segments within the UN logo. So basically, for all the deniers of the number system that these people operate off, you're just incomplete denial. You don't want to believe it. You want to believe you have some type of intelligence. In the school system, which is nothing more than the indoctrination centers throughout not only this country, throughout the world. They're all masons that own and control not only the U.S. school system, but throughout this whole entire world, which is owned and controlled by these satanic masons. Now, I find it very interesting going to NASA's official website. Let's take a look here. As I mentioned many times, of course, NASA knows we live on a flat Earth with a firmament or dome. Let's take a look here. And this is from NASA's official website. And this one page, spot the station, of course, referring to the so-called International Space Station, which, of course, does not exist. Let's take a look here. What do you see? As a form of mockery, they have the flat Earth model on their website. And look here, the maximum height at 66 degrees. And they show the so-called ISS. Give me a complete break. Now, let's take a look here also. Many have seen this before. I've covered this as well. But just for reference, this one PDF file going back to 1988, August 1988, from NASA's official website once again. Let's go down to page number 6. And take a look what it says. With this report summary, this report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. What's the deal here with NASA doing tests on a non-rotating flat Earth? Okay, what's the deal with this? Of course they know we live on a flat Earth. And again, going back to August 1988. And just like I showed before, all the bogus numbers, all about the occult, with the 66 degrees maximum height, like I showed many times with the Grand Sovereign Commander, your dual 33s or your 66. Now, the NASA deception, of course, goes back to the very beginning with the head of rocketry, the former Nazi Werner von Braun, and he has, of course, a Bible verse, Psalms 19:1. Take a look here at what it says, and that Bible verse, again, the man head of rocketry, head of NASA, from, again, Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Okay, the head of NASA's rocketry. This is 100% mockery. Basically, like I said so many times, everybody knows the Earth is flat, except the masses, except the general public. Everybody that's basically on top of this world when it comes to, NASA itself, the government. Of course, NASA being nothing more than a government agency. Hollywood, as you see here as well, when it comes to the concept of the flat Earth with this 1983 TV show called V for Visitors with these alien invaders. As I've shown this many times, when you get a close-up, this is the flat Earth model with the sun and the moon within the biblical flat Earth. And you see how the sun and moon, and you see the circular motion within. I mean, this is clear as day. There's no denying this, that this is the biblical flat Earth. and even the four corners as mentioned in the Bible itself. So again, as I show many times, this Bible verse, Revelation 12:9, where it states the great dragon, the old serpent called the devil, deceives the whole world. Okay, this is very literal, and even Christians, people that believe in God, do not understand this is 100% literal, not just empty words. It's very clear once again to see all these occultic numbers. People are still going to deny this. Again, science is nothing more than a lie, a satanic lie from hell when it all comes down to it.
I definitely haven't mastered it. I'll give you a trial and I'll show you just how bad it is.